Brothers and sisters, today is Commencement Day in the Catholic University Institute of Buea. It is the first time ever since the university was founded that we are coming together for this solemn ceremony. I am humbled. I try to be humble, but I'm humbled. Among my own people, traditionally, we do not talk. We keep silence. We wonder. We ponder these things in our heart when they are overwhelming, like this moment. These are the sentiments I have at this time of celebrations. But I must talk. I cordially welcome all of you present at this ceremony and those seeing us at the television screens far away from here. First of all, I want to thank God who has made everything possible. With God, everything is possible. I thank the Minister of Higher Education, Professor Jacques Fami Ndongo, who has supported this work with all his heart from before the beginning. I thank everyone from near and far, particularly those who have come from the ends of the earth. Yesterday night, I saw Mr. Joseph Nkeze. Joseph comes from the farthest end of all of us sitting among in this crowd here. He comes from Seattle, the far northwestern end of the United States of America. He is actually dipping his feet in the Atlantic Ocean. He has come because he loves us, because he trusts in what we are doing. All other delegations are most welcome, those from homes, schools, universities, and all others. The idea is expressed in the commencement script, which we are reading here. My own idea corresponded very well with that, and I would just say what I had to say. We're talking about the birth of an idea. Birth of an idea is like a mother giving birth to a child. When you give birth to that child, it's no more your child. When the child comes out from the womb, is the child of the world. It's a citizen of the world. It's a member of our world. Years ago, when this idea was ruminated upon, and it came out yesterday night, they also mentioned that it's no more my idea. I thought that was a wonderful expression. It's something for us. When God is doing his work, he just chooses randomly all our his people. He can choose somebody from Erebus. He can choose somebody from Tokyo to do what we are doing here. So it just happened that at that time, he said, you get this going. I will nominate people from here and there to join in this effort, and they will take it forward. That's what has happened. It's amazing the number of people who just opt to join this university. Not just the students, but those who are working here. Somebody will say, well, I've been doing many other things. They are wonderful. I get a lot of money, but I just simply want to come and work here. Not for money, but just for job satisfaction. That for me is an amazing thing, because I do feel that God has touched a heart and told the person to come and join. There are several of such very, very outstanding members of this academic community. And I think that's the way God has wanted to get this thing going and promote it to the limits he would want us to reach. In ancient Africa, sometimes our history knowledge is very small. Ancient Africa, we are talking of 7,000 years before Jesus Christ, 6,000 years before Jesus Christ, 5,000 years before Jesus Christ, 1,000 years before Jesus Christ. Africa had universities. They had outstanding universities. And when they had these universities, people did not go reading in libraries as we are doing today. I think that our own minds are a bit weak there, and memory is very short. What they did in the academic circles at that time was that the teachers would just teach straight without looking at books. And if they ran into problems, that's when they went to the library to check on what was written there. And once they saw what they wanted, they closed the book and put it back, and they were working on their minds alone, memory. That's what they did. So for that reason, you saw astronomy reach its highest level. You saw, like in Egypt, the surface area where we could see things, because the satellite is proving greater things in Egypt, the desert, and the rest of Africa than we have known. You see the pyramids. Pyramids were constructed from mines that did not use apparatus as we have today. Medicine, they performed wonders at that time, because some of the great people of that era, these people were worshipped as gods, because their memories were phenomenal. So they did a lot at that time. And one basic thing was that those who kept knowledge at that time were the priests, and these priests did not marry. They did not. Why? Because their strong belief was that when you give birth to an idea, that idea is universal, it is eternal, it never ends. So they therefore nursed them and handed them on to younger generations, millennia after millennia. It is when they failed to worship the true God, whom they had done before, or at the beginning of our civilization, that the system broke down. So our point is that when an idea is born, that idea does not die. Ideas do not depend on us. They are there. God opens the way for us to see them, and when we see them, then we use them, and we use them, we die, they continue in spite of our going away. So we're saying here that in the past it was that way. When you look at Socrates, the great Greek thinker, Socrates was the same. He didn't write books, and he only talked to people. And he was very, very surprised that people knew the truth. They had the ideas, and they chose to do wrong things. We see also in the Catholic Church in the past, in the Middle Ages, education was principally managed by the priests. And these priests did exactly what the African priests did in the past. When universities in Europe, Middle Ages, were taken over by secular governments, they struggled very much and tried to destroy the church culture. When you go to Oxford today, you will see that in Oxford, the nuns are getting married. Up to a point, they did not marry. They lived like the priests, because they knew that when you are that way, 24 hours of the day, your interest is knowledge and to share with young people. And so the world becomes a better place. The person in Oxford who rebelled and tore down that system is a famous English historian. Those who have done history might have heard of him, Arnold Toynbee. Toynbee was an Oxford scholar of the first grade, and he said, I am not a clergyman, I will get married. So he broke that culture, and they have been struggling there since. They have been struggling since. So when we started this university then, our idea has been integral. Some people chose to call it holistic, but we call it integral formation. That means the whole person, the intellect, the spirit, the psychology of the person, the physical aspect of the person, everything is taken into consideration so that you can fit in anywhere at all you find yourself in the world, because you are all roundly formed. So we have been trying to do that. Might not have reached 100% because we are just beginning, and we just hope that with time, the baby will grow to an adult, mature adult, who will be appreciated by everybody, everywhere, who will be asking, where do you come from? What is your secret? The secret is not really secret. Secret is doing, as they have mentioned already here, doing everyday small things, the regular things, perfectly well. That is the secret that we are trying to inculcate in the students here. In the university here too, before the beginning, the idea was that this would be an agricultural-centered university. So the central piece of the university is no other thing than agriculture. So this is a challenge to the agri people. You have to do very much so to put yourself at the central piece of the university. Other people are flourishing. For example, the business school seems to edge you out completely. That should not really be the case. I think that with time, it should be agriculture, because with agriculture, the products, mankind needs them till the last day of this world now. Yes, we need food, and good food all the time. So we should not shy away and say that agriculture is a dirty man's business. It cannot be dirty. If after talking like this, we go into the restaurant or go to a room there and we do not see food, we say the occasion was not wonderful now. So the agri people are very, very important, because their task is basic. Their task is the most elementary for the needs of mankind. Then we will be calling on those who are here in this establishment, that one of the key things which is going on very, very well, but I think we can surpass ourselves, is sacrifice. Sacrifice. You cannot overstress that word. When we sacrifice, the fruits are there. If there's no sacrifice, there's no success. We cannot make it really. So we will simply say, as the Western civilization, which is dying now, is dying. When you study it very, very closely, the history of mankind up to now, you see that the pillars that Western civilization suspended itself on for these many centuries, those pillars have been taken away. There is not a single government in the world now, to the best of my knowledge, maybe I'm wrong there, that says God is first, not one. In some places, when you say prayers before an activity, they will take you away from there, because they do not want God. When you do not want God, you cannot do much. The Western civilization was built on Monte Cassino in southern Italy by St. Benedict in his monastery, the Benedictine monastery, the foundation monastery of the Benedictine family. Benedict and his monks and the community around, they built the university on two wings: prayer and work. Prayer and work. Work and prayer. That's all they did. The moment that it became work, we are in very big problems. The two must balance. Prayer cannot be prayer all the time. If you do that, it doesn't go. So the two must be together like that. So the Western civilization has thrown out in some quarters completely prayer. And without prayer, that means union with God. We are really nothing. So I'm really struck by the way things have been arranged here by the university community, and the president already mentioned that all these wonderful things we are seeing are the work of the community. They didn't hire people from outside to do it. So we just simply say, surpass yourself in the future, and the glory will be God's own, and the country also will go, because we are good people. We are saints and scholars. Thank you very much for listening.